Welcome to Hide and Seek TV. It's your boy Hide and Seek. I'm about to do a very deep video. I'm actually going to just be elaborating and breaking down some of the symbolism pertaining to the submarine sink. I want to just break it down right quick. So what I want to talk about is how obviously, the Little Mermaid came out, what was it, like a month ago, almost a month. And, notice like a little after that same time, like a month, obviously, the submarine sink happened on the 18th. So I want to break this down right quick. Same thing, like back in the 80s, I think 1989, when the original one came out. There was a lot of shipwrecks around the same time of that date as well. You know what I'm saying? Like November 19th, I think it came out. No, 17th, it came out. And, they had shipwrecks on the 20th and, and so forth around the same date. It's just to elaborate on that. The whole thing, when you understand the whole aspect of the shipwreck pertaining to the mermaids. Remember in the Greek mythologies, it'll be the mermaid spirit, the marine spirits that seduce the ship and then they lead the man to being doomed, leading them into the abyss, into hell. You know what I'm saying? As it's written anyway in Revelation 17, and there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials and talked with me, saying, Unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. The whole thing, the marine spirits and things of that nature, the whole aspect of the Babylonian whore. You know what I'm saying? Remember on the King Kong versus Godzilla, remember King Kong, when he took control back over the axe, which was all symbolic of the Messiah. Remember he was crucified on the land of the skull. And King Kong is from Skull Island. The Messiah was crucified on Golgotha, the land of the skull. Remember he got his axe and he was like, he want to go back home because King Kong had the axe, because as it's written, the Most High said that Jacob, which is the 12 tribes of Israel, it's his battle axe. So the children of God is his axe. You know what I'm saying? And the Messiah is the mighty carpenter, the great kingdom builder. So just notice how all that stuff all connects. I wanted to just bring that up. And I want to get into the thing about the Titanic. Remember the movie? Let's delve into this. Notice the names. You got the name Jack. Hint, Jack don't mean nothing short for what Jacob, hint, 12 tribes of Jacob. The name Dawson, when you understand the name Dawson, don't mean nothing but what son of David, hint, the Messiah comes out of the house of David, Judah. Hint, you got the name Bill, you got the name Billy, you got the name David, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep going. But the whole thing anyway, Bill is obviously short for William, hint, in Exodus 3:14, the Most High said his name is I am that I am. Hint the will of I am. Hint William, will of God. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to break this down right quick. It's deep because even right here, notice you got Lewis. You see how they made sure to have Lewis on there. It's always going to be a Lewis. Because when you understand the holy name, when you translate praise the Lord, it becomes Lewis eternal. And as a matter of fact, I want to show y'all something right quick to explain this even further. If you remember the movie Gemini Man, remember Will Smith was battling multiple clones of himself. Remember the man who had created clones out of Will Smith, who was fascinated with his ability. It was all symbolic how many antichrists would rise and blaspheme the holy name. Hint Williams, you know what I'm saying, the Lewis. All of this stuff, I wanted to just show that really fast, you feel me? But listen to this too. This was like 10 days or like a week ago, like a few days before the submarines issue happened. Listen to this.
Enough for him. I'm already reeling them in. July 29th, I'm going to put them on the bank. I'm going to put them on the bank. I'm going to gut them, and I'm going to fillet them.
You like I said. Submarine.
No, just hear that. Let's do it again.
Like I said. Submarine.
You see what I'm saying? He's already predating. I'm going to break the whole submarine thing down. Because when you understand the submarine, the whole aspect, as it's written, how the kingdom of heaven is as a merchant man, going to fish and seek of souls for the kingdom of heaven. And when you understand the whole theme, it all deals with the Ark of the Covenant. When you understand the whole Ark aspect, it's the whole theme of the law of God. Who will rule? Lucifer will rule the world before the Messiah will rule and bring forth the heavenly kingdom. That's why they like to sink it. And, I'm going to break it down, though. But let's delve into this right quick. So in Revelation 12, they already know the Messiah is upon the earth, man. And I've been showing this. If you've been watching my channel, I've been showing it for 2 years now. And as it's written in Revelation 12, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars, and she being with child travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads, 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God into his throne. So the 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns, and the 7 times 10 is the 1970s. That's why you see it say he was seeking to destroy the child as soon as he was born. 1973, abortion was legalized. Notice feminism was pushed heavy in the late 60s, the 70s. They wanted the women to reject, the man, and hit the whole thing too. 1975 was the first condom commercial because they was trying to prevent the birth of the son coming, because they knew he was going to be born in 1976, July 5th. And I'm going to break this down because July 5th is the 186th day of the year. At the speed of light, traveled 186,000 miles per hour. You feel what I'm saying? Remember last year they had did the CERN. Remember the CERN they unlocked. They did it last year, on July 5th. They wanted to unleash those spirits. They did it. Remember CERN unlocked the portal in 2022, July 5th. They was trying to go to war against the saints then. You know what I'm saying? Because as it's written, in that day there should be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord, and it should be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts, which are a shadow of things to come with the bodies of Christ. At the top of the altar is measured at 76 degrees, and it foreshadows the kingdom to come. And the 7 is the number of spirit, 6 the number of flesh, and he was born in 1976. And the pyramids stand at 5,776 feet. Hit the 76. The sun burns at 5,776 degrees. So listen, this show came out 1976. The main character was Lewis. Listen to this right quick. Stuff is deep, man. This show came out 1975, going into 1976. Because they knew he was going to be coming upon the earth. Listen to this, and the main character was Lewis.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out.
You see the train because they know the Exodus is about to fulfill. Listen to this.
That you lied about.
Notice that it's created by Alan. I'm going to get into that Alan name in a minute. But remember this. It's created by Alan. I'm going to come back to that later.
Well, the names have all changed since you hung around.
The names have all changed since you hung around. And the last time he was crucified. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to leave that right there. But I want y'all to just see that. I'm going to come back to that. Remember that. I'm going to come back. It's like a bookmark. Anyway, these are 2 of the people they said passed away, allegedly. But hit the whole thing. Notice that they have the 2 lamps behind them. Y'all noticed that, right? They got the 2 lamps. So I'm going to break this down. Revelation 18, verse 23. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom, the Messiah, and of the bride, Israel, shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. So I think the whole thing, the mother Babylon, the merchants of mother Babylon, go to die at sea. And you see the lamp is not shining, it has no lamp on. You just pay attention how deep this is symbolically. And notice why they had to have on all black on this photo. Remember they said this was for Father's Day. That's the only reason why he went with his dad. That's how deep it goes. Now the guy who was controlling the submarine, he's an actor and YouTuber. His name is Alan Estrada. So hint the whole thing, his name is Alan. Remember I was just talking about the name Alan, right? the welcome back. And then let's go into it too. Look who did the music for The Little Mermaid. Alan Menken. Alan. So, I mean, it's all in our face. Look at this. Notice last year, he was showing him going to tour that, he was doing a lot of traveling. He was showing him going to tour the Titanic. Notice that's the same machine they were sitting in with OceanGate. Pay attention to this right here too. And notice that last year they had the guy, one of the co-founders of OceanGate, had the whole thing how he was on his video last year. They say he was one of the ones that dies, the CEO. Because hint the whole thing, the OceanGate, hint the whole thing. You already know it's just written, the ocean is what, like as the abyss. So hint the whole thing, man, the gate. Remember I just showed CERN's portal opening last year. The gateway. Let's look at this scene. This is off the game Alan Wake. This came out years ago, like 2010, I think, back on like 360 PS3. This is just an updated like 4K version, but look. Hint Alan, Wake, Alan. Notice he's falling into the water. And he was like having like a lucid dream. But notice the Alan again. Look at this. And they got an Alan Wake 2 game coming out this year as well. Let me break it down and let me go further. So obviously they said OceanGate got 47 employees in 2023. So obviously 47 employees, 1976, the birth year of the Messiah, July 5th. And he's about to turn 47 in 2 weeks, July 5th. Notice the 47. Notice Denver Nuggets won their title after being 47 years in the NBA. They just won their first title after 47 years. Like, notice Ray Allen, and Allen is 47. I'm going to get on him in a second, too. I'm going to break this down, man. And Allen, he's 47, like, all in our face. Hint right now why they had the Louis, remember I was talking about the Louis Eternal, that's why they had to have Pharrell Williams hosting the Louis Vuitton the design party, the fashion show. That just happened like a couple of days ago, like after the submarine sank. The menswear show, hint the Louis Vuitton. Notice this right here when Ray Allen, he shot this shot on June 18th, 2013. As you can see, notice it's 5 on the clock. And 5 people, they say die, And I'm going to show you the shot. Oh, my bad, y'all.
James catches, puts up a 3. Won't go. Rebound box. Back out to Allen. His 3-pointer.
So look, I'm going to break this down. Now you see, this show was held in Paris because when you understand Paris, remember I broke it down before, Nehemiah 1:9, the Most High said he would gather us up where he choose to place his holy name. And through Louisiana, the slave boats come through. In Deuteronomy 28:68, the curses with the slave boats. Enter into spiritual Egypt again by boat. So hint the whole thing, the Louisiana connection. Now, and Judah during that time, way back in the day, had, they had power and where the tribe of Judah was ruling through France, the French connection. So notice the reason why I showed this right here, hint Ray Allen, hint the Allen, he did it on June 18th. You feel what I'm saying? And it's so deep because you hint the French player that just got drafted, his name is Victor. And you remember he played, he just got drafted by the Spurs. So notice how, during that year, the Spurs was in the finals. And now this year, the same year, with the situation happening with Alan, with the ship sinking, and the whole theme of you got the Frenchman who's drafted by the Spurs #1. Just notice how all this stuff connect. June 18th, you had Ray Allen was the one who saved that game. And that whole thing, man. June 18th. And remember that's why they had to say Allen was the one in control of the remote. Let's delve further into this, man, with the submarine. Notice why they're showing all of the movies that's coming out recently. It's all dealing with water. And notice a lot of them are all produced by David. The Messiah come out of the house of David. And the theme of the water, too, is a duality because it's a sense of the abyss, the depths, like of hell theme, and then the aspect, too, of like the living waters. The Messiah is the living waters. So it's a duality. But notice how deep that goes. Like they had the Avatar Way of Water. They got Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom coming out this year. You know what I'm saying? Hint the Lost Kingdom, hint the kingdom of the Most High is fulfilling. Notice you got David again. That's the writer. Same thing with Little Mermaid. Notice the writer name was David. Notice you have Black Panther. Remember Namor? He was ruling the Water Kingdom. Remember that. Let's go into this. It's all in our face, man. It's all in our face. Like it all come together. You feel what I'm saying? Let's keep it rolling. Hint right now, you got a movie called on Netflix. It's called Through My Window Across the Sea. Everything is coming together. So all of the Popeye versus was it Bluto or Brutus? Hint the whole thing. Popeye was symbolic of the Messiah, and that's why he always ate the spinach because it's all symbolic. Eating like the theme of like gaining the tree of life, and it goes. Remember, as it's written too, when you understand the whole theme of that. So hint the aspect, the can. That's why it's inside of a can because it's hidden. The spinach, it represents like the strength because knowledge is strength, the power of heaven. That's why when he eat his spinach, he gets powerful and he can take down Bluto, Brutus. I got the name, but that all is symbolic of Antichrist, Obama versus the Messiah, Popeye. That's why they was always fighting over who will rule the ark, who will rule the ship. You feel what I'm saying? Who will rule and have the bride Israel, which was olive oil. Remember, as it's written, Israel comes out of idolatry, comes out of deception, comes out of sleeping, and awaken and walk in righteousness. Hence, the Ark of the Covenant is right here. When you understand the Ark of the Covenant is represented by the number 44, and I'm going to break it down. Hence, why Obama had to be the 44th president. Remember, I was breaking this down. But that's why the number 44 is on Break Your Neck by Busta Rhymes, because hence they don't want the Messiah to be the head ruler. They want to break the neck. You know what I'm saying? In Psalms 118:22, as it's written, they removed the headstone. Remember, I was talking about it, about the headstone foreshadows the kingdom to come. 76 degrees. That's why the Illuminati pyramid don't have a headstone. It just has an all-seeing eye. Because they want to be their own God. How do they do that? By removing him from being the king, the head ruler. So you see how Popeye had a show on June 18th, 1948. Hence the June 18th, the Saint Ship Day, 1948. He met Hercules, who was played by who? By Brutus. Bluto. Look at this right here. So this right here proves my point. Notice what that looks like. So this is why I'm not just talking. Notice that looks just like the OceanGate Titan. Way back in 1948, they showed it because it's all symbolic of the Ark of the Covenant. You see how deep it is. That's why they had to say I can't breathe, because because in John 19, as it's written, on 19, as it's written, that the Messiah, during the crucifixion, his lungs got damaged. They stabbed him in the lungs. And I can't breathe. His lungs is filled up with blood and water. I can't breathe. I'm going to show y'all this right quick. Pay attention to this. All right. Let's get deep, man. Pay attention to this right here. Notice he turns the wheel because hint the Messiah either going to be a lamb sacrifice or he's going to be a ruling king. Notice he turned the wheel because they want to mess with the forms and they want to keep him weak in a sense where he's not in power. They want to remove the headstone. So notice this. He's fighting Lewis. Lewis is the one right here choking him. Notice how he got water coming out. He can't breathe. I wanted to just show that. You know what I mean? All in our face. Hint June 18th is what day of the year? June 18th is the 169th day of the year, man. Correct? 169th day of the year. You do the square root of 169, it becomes 13. Hint 7 plus 6 is 13. Hint the 76. So there's no mistake all of this happens. So I'm going to break this down a little further. Let's get deep right quick, y'all. Because, hint, this all happened right before Juneteenth, too. But I want to show y'all something. Notice this. Remember, as it's written, excuse the language on this, but notice the Illuminati pyramid he's throwing up. Makes on a hand gesture. Notice he's dressed up in Christ-lam, just like Barack Obama. I'm going to show you this right quick. Because it's all in our face, man. There's no way around it. Hold on. It's all in our face. Everything comes together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it all comes together. My bad. It's all in our face, y'all. Like, everything is right in our face. It's all about who got eyes to see and ears to hear. You know what I'm saying? So my bad, it's right here. So notice the whole theme, the same attire. The one world religion that they're going to push on the world and the Christ-lam appearance. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like all about who got the eyes to see and ears to hear. And the beast out to see, as it's written in Revelation 13. Let's get right into it. And I stood upon the sands of the sea, which is Israel, as it's written as the sands of the sea. And I saw a beast rise up out of the sands of the sea, right out of the sea. You see what I'm saying? The beast, the Antichrist. Notice how he's standing right on the sea. Let's get right to the point. Notice he's right in the water with the shark, the beast, showing he's bringing the beast out to sea. That's how deep it all goes. You know what I'm saying? All right, now look, I'm going to show y'all this. I want to get right to the point. See how he brings the dragon out of the sea with him. And they say hurt them all. For censorship, they hurt. And they say hurt them all. Because that whole theme is saying what? They want to go to war against the saints. So notice this. So notice he got Michael Blackson in the chains, which is symbolic of the Messiah and his glory. You see what I'm saying? So hint that the whole thing, when they said, take the chains off. Yeah, Juneteenth, take off your chains. That was not talking about literal chains. Look at it. Brian Allen presents Juneteenth. Hint the Allen again, man. Byron Allen. Like, anyway, hint Juneteenth. You know what I mean? It's all about removing the chains because they're like, we don't have to be in servitude and in, it's just like we're slaves of righteousness. So that whole thing, they just reversed it and made, we're taking off the chains and being free to do what thou wilt. It's just high level blasphemy. You know what I'm saying? Be your own God. You know what I'm saying? Remove the chains. Remove your glory. Notice once he took the chains off, he was able to make him a sacrificial lamb again. And then listen to this. Use your language. Back for cosigns. Now they see the doses to have them back and make them do shit. Then they back up until the fucking break into. And the black, you mentioned you be black and they bend your back up. Because hence we won't be able to rise up because they got us covered in darkness, calling ourselves black. And not going by the true name of us being Judahites and us being of the tribes of Israel, the children of God, but we call ourselves black, white, Asian, Latino, blah, 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 going by bywords. That's how deep it goes. Hence why this year you had the Nuggets, which is representing Mount Zion, Denver to Mile High City, hit Mount Zion, and the Miami Heat, because the heat represents what? The fire that's coming to refine, Israel, and the fire that's going to destroy the world, hint to cleanse the world. Hint Jimmy Butler, the butler, hint the Messiah is the servant of man. And he assists us, he serves us in the sense of, freeing us from sin to be able to be blessed to enter into the kingdom. And the butler. And it's all in our face, man. And it's so deep because the Miami Heat, remember, I always break it down. Remember, I said the 44 is symbolic of the Ark of the Covenant. Notice Miami Heat was number 44 in wins this year. And when you look at it too, it's so deep because, remember, I always break it down how on movies, what was it? Mr. Ed and the Talking Horse. And Ed was the talking horse, and William was his owner. I broke it down on the movie Ant-Man, how Lewis was the main character. He was the one who helped Ant-Man, whose name was Ed. And you remember Edward Scissorhands? Remember on the movie Edward Scissorhands? Remember he was dating, I think, Bill's daughter, William's daughter. It's always an Edward and William connection, a Lewis-William connection, a Messiah and Edward connection. Because Edward is like the wealthy guardian. That's all it means. And as you can see, Bam Adebayo, he wears number 13, hence 7-6 is 13. And it's a duality in number 13 because it can be satanic and or righteous, to emphasize on that. But Bam's name is Ed, and he plays with the butler, the Messiah. That's why Butler wears number 22, because 22 is the final chapter of the book of Revelation, the end of the book. The kingdom built, the kingdom fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to end that right here. Thank you for watching Hide and Seek TV. Much more is coming. Peace.